Allow me to paint a picture. The shadow on the wall is standing on a mountain. It's scanning across the plain, looking for something. It sees it and remembers what it must do. It senses something. Us. We're not supposed to be here. We're supposed to be with them. Allow me to paint a picture. The man is waiting outside the office, tapping his foot. Tap, tap, tap. The door opens and he is led inside. "It's an honor to finally meet you in person, sir," he says. "Please, sit down," the person at the desk replies. The man sits down in a chair across from the person. "Why did you want to see me?" "There are some children I need you to keep an eye on." "You want me to take them out, sir?" "No. Merely watch them and report back to me." "What children?" "Jameson Francisco, Weston Newdale, and Zachary Downs." "Why do you want me to watch them?" "That's on a need-to-know basis." "Of course, Mr. Lane." Allow me to paint a picture. John Madison is in his house, looking out the window. Where are they? He thinks. Then he remembers. Oh, right. They're downstairs. He walks downstairs where they're sitting in a chair, crying. Why are they crying? John thinks. He takes a puppet off the table and talks to them through it. That doesn't seem to work. What's wrong? Why aren't they happy? John knows what to do. They need their medicine, then they won't hurt anymore. They try to struggle. Just take your medicine and you'll be happy again. He gives them their medicine and they stop crying and start to laugh. That's right. Be happy. Everything will be fine. Allow me to paint a picture. A man is in the woods, chopping logs. Chop, chop. The tediousness of this task that he had performed thousands upon thousands of times was setting in. He throws his axe to the ground and sees something through the trees. Their eyes. Why are they watching him? He doesn't know, nor does he know what they are. He picks up his axe and rushes towards them. August 25th, 1987. Zach Downs wakes up on the couch. His hands hurt. In fact, his whole body does. He's filled with extreme pain. He gets up, runs to the bathroom, and looks in the mirror. He's horrified by what he sees. His face looks dead, almost like a corpse. He touches his face in disbelief. He walks back to the living room where he sees a rat on the couch. Without knowing why, he reaches out to the rat. And again is horrified by what he sees. A stream of gray sand starts to come out of the rat and into Zach. He doesn't know why. He doesn't stop. He watches as the rat starts to slowly die until there's nothing left but bones. He runs back to the mirror and he's fine. No death in his face. James Francisco didn't sleep at all last night. He couldn't stop seeing through his hands. He slowly gets out of bed and walks into the bathroom to wash his face. Against his better judgment, he looks into the mirror. As he does, he realizes that he no longer is seeing his bones in those orange lights. His eyes no longer hurt. But for how long? Weston Newdale also didn't get much sleep last night, but for very different reasons. He had things to theorize, things to think about. Why did his father forget about grounding him? Did James or any of the others remember? James didn't sound like he didn't remember, but Weston could never know. Lizzie Hayes didn't sleep last night, for he had a man or clone to take care of and make sure he doesn't wander off. She watches as, when he wakes up, he starts to panic. She holds out her hand and tries to get him to calm down. She feels a strange sensation in her brain. Stephen starts to look around, panicking more than before. Lizzie looks at her hands. Nothing seems different. She puts a hand on Stephen's arm, and he looks at her and calms down. Her mother walks down the stairs to get her up for school. Lizzie, wake up. She looks around, wondering where you are. Lizzie? She walks right in front of you and looks around more. Did she already go to school? Your mother shrugs and walks back upstairs. You let go of Stephen and run over to the closest mirror in the basement bathroom. You see yourself. Whatever just happened didn't last long. Allow me to tell you a story. Weston Newdale used to be a happy young boy with great dreams. He was walking in the park one day when a man came up to him. "Hello," Weston said to the man. "What's your name?" "Boyle." Weston noticed that behind the man was another young boy. Something was off about him. He looked exactly like Weston. How could this be? Before he could do anything, the man had grabbed Weston and thrown him into his car. Weston watched as the look-alike had walked over to his mother and hugged her. "That's not me," he wanted to scream, but he knew it would do no good. He was taken to a strange place with strange equipment. There was another man there, calling himself Mr. Kane. He had injected something into Weston's arm. "Stop! What are you doing?" Then Mr. Boyle took Weston and threw him through a hole in the ground, sending him to a dark place. Weston was in pain. Whatever Mr. Kane had injected into him was crawling up to his head through his arm. Weston looked, and he saw that his blood has turned black. Weston screamed, but no voice came out. Only black energy. 20 years went by. Weston had been stuck in that hole for 20 years. He had changed his name to Revan, for Weston Newdale was dead. He had to get out. He had to see his mom and dad again. But how? He thought about it when he heard a voice say, "Do you want to escape?" "Yes," Revan said. He didn't care where the voice had come from. "Promise to do something for me." "What?" "I shall not reveal what it was, for it is not my place to reveal such things." Revan awoke on the old railroad road, wearing an old black trench coat. He looked around. He knew the way home. He ran and ran till he saw his house. What he saw broke him. He saw his mother and father eating with a boy that looked just like him when he was younger. Didn't they know it wasn't him? He hid outside when he watched the boy walk into a small shed in the backyard. Revan looked at his hand and balled his fist. He knew his power and what he needed to do. Allow me to paint a picture. A woman is sitting in a room, listening to the clock. Tick-tock goes the clock. She hears a noise. Something slams against the door. It wants in. What exactly? We may never know. She turns and looks out a window to see them looking back at her. She's scared of them. Why? They don't want to hurt her, only observe. Their eyes close. Allow me to paint a picture. A man is driving his car along an endless road. They are watching him from right in front of his car, always just out of reach of it. He can see them, and they get closer and closer as the light of an oncoming car slams into his, killing him almost instantly. The other driver wasn't injured. They got out of the car and tried to save him, but failed. As they watched, them always there, always watching. Allow me to paint a picture. A boy is in the woods, sitting in a chair. He doesn't know why he's in the woods, or how he got here, only that he's here because he's supposed to see something. He gets out of the chair and sees something horrible. He sees one of his best friends hanging from a tree. He sees someone he wishes he was friends with sitting on the ground, blood on their hands, a knife at their feet. He sees someone he knows about but would never think about talking to. They're floating in the air, and a storm of sand is surrounding them. Their eyes roll back into their head. And finally, he sees someone he doesn't recognize, but he knows that he shouldn't be able to see them. They're flickering in and out of existence, clearly in pain. He looks at all of them, not knowing what to do or how to help them. His head hurts. He screams. He wakes up in a sweat. He looks around. He's in his room. His mother runs inside. "Teddy, are you okay? I heard some screaming." "Yeah, I'm okay, Mom. Just a bad dream." Allow me to paint a picture. Marlon Giles wakes up in a sweat. He looked around. His wife was still asleep. He got out of bed, walked into the bathroom, and looked into the mirror. He's still there. It's always there. The monster, the beast, the devil. Always right there, right behind him. Whispering things. What does it have to say today? What's that? Something about sand and energy? A blind man? What does that have to do with... What do those things have to do with each other? He can't think about that right now. He has a town meeting to get to. Allow me to paint a picture. Mr. Lane stands outside, watching the swarm try to affect him. Things have gotten much worse, all thanks to that Downs boy. He knows that Kane has rushed his plans, making sure that they happen soon. Lane knows that he's been keeping Kane at bay for as long as he could. But now it's their turn. He's sad. They will have a hard life. He wishes that he could have known them under better circumstances. Mr. Lane leaves Entity Point. On the other end of the spectrum is Scott Winters, hiding in his office in Requiem Library. He's a man scared of many things, what Mr. Lane could do to his family, the storm outside, among other things going on. But he's tired. Very tired of being scared. He can't help himself. He needs to break through his fear. He's been researching as much as he can and now knows what he must try to do. As much as James has tried to hide it, he's not very quiet when talking to his friends at work. Mr. Winters knows everything he needs to. He picks up the gun in his desk. He has to try.